What's up, everyone? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Colin. I have to apologize. I am in a hotel room right now in Nashville, Tennessee, and so I am ill prepared with my coffee. But don't let that stop you from having a coffee or an adult beverage. My guest tonight is actually going to make up for it because he's prepared an espresso martini, which he's going to be drinking throughout. So as we go through the show tonight, just forgive him if he starts slurring his words, but he's gonna make sure he makes up for both of us as far as the coffee goes. But hope you guys have had a great week. Hope you had a great weekend. I was in Chicago for the Rama Drama event at the Drake Hotel, and we'd love for you guys to join us on the next Rama Drama event. And again, it was another amazing, awesome time. Got to see all the lovely ladies from Rama Drama, and just want to say thank you to everyone who was there, who came to see us. And we saw two premieres, or actually two screenings of two Hallmark movies. And thank you to R3 Stem Cell, who was one of the sponsors. And we just had a fantastic, awesome time. And again, looking forward to the next one. So here we are. It is the beginning of December, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are getting ready for the holiday season and that you are not getting too overwhelmed and stressed out. And that's why I like to do this show, because I love to share and have conversations with my guests about how to deal with everyday issues, everyday life. I think we look at actors and musicians and athletes, and we see them maybe up on the big screen or doing things that, we all aspire to do. And we sometimes, I think, can put people up on a pedestal and think that, the people who are, actors or whatever, doing great things, that life is just, a cakewalk. And I'm telling you, whatever we do, guys, whatever you do in life is not easy. And that is why it is so important that we come together to be able to share our ideas and our inspiration to help us all navigate life, whether that's personally or professionally. And, we all go through different times in our lives where we need some help. We need some support, throughout the year. I have definitely had times, and still am having times, where I just need the support of my friends and the people that I've relied on to support me in my dreams and my passions. But that requires us to get vulnerable. It requires us to be honest about where we're at. And it requires us to sometimes have difficult conversations with people that we don't always want to have. And that's why, again, it's so important to surround yourself with people who support you in what you are up to. But it requires you to sometimes get out of your comfort zone to be able to share what is really going on. Because I think sometimes we try to hide our problems. We try to make sure that, we're not inconveniencing people. And if we're upset, the worst thing we can do is keep it to ourselves. I think it's so important that if something is bothering you, or if you have an issue with someone, that you just be an adult and have a conversation, and just make sure that, whatever it is that you're dealing with, that people know about it. Because the only way you're going to move through difficult situations in life is if you share what you're dealing with, share what's important to you. And in the process, it's not always easy, but in the end, you will surround yourself with the people who are your real friends and who truly love you and want to support you in what you're doing. So that being said, ladies and gents, my guest tonight is someone who I feel I can confide with and be real with and be authentic with. And it's not always that you get to meet people in our lives who you feel a connection with, who you feel that they're just really good people down into the core of who they are. And my guest tonight is someone who I immediately connected with at the Rama Drama event last June. And he and I have kept in touch. I got to see him in New York City last month, and he's just a really awesome dude. He's got quite a resume, ladies and gents, as an actor. He's also a musician, so perhaps maybe he will give us a little taste of his sweet, silky voice tonight, if he's up to it. And if you want to type in a question here on the chat on the right, feel free to do so. Thank you for everyone who's here tonight. Heather, Jacqueline, Elizabeth, Amy, Cheyenne, Yvonne, Kay Rios, Tammy, how you doing? What's up? What's up? Great to see you guys all here. And again, if you want to if you have a question for my guest tonight, feel free to type it in there, or myself. And again, at the end, we're going to be doing our Particular Pick 6. If you haven't downloaded Particular, it is the app that will allow you to see where your favorite movies are playing, what platforms. And again, tonight, if you want to check out my guests' movies, you can go into Particular, download it from the App Store or the Google Play Store, and then just type in his movies, and you can see exactly where you can watch them. So be sure to download Particular. And without further ado, ladies and gents, my next guest on Coffee with Colin tonight, he's originally from Fort Worth, Texas. He was raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he got his start working with Mr. Jerry Bruckheimer on the movie Glory Road, and he's done a ton of movies and TV shows. He worked on We Are Marshall, really great movie starring Matthew McConaughey as the coach, and he also is one of his best known roles is he's known for HBO's hit vampire series True Blood. We all love True Blood. And he played Luke, a former football player with a vengeance. And he's also appeared on a ton of TV shows, including CSI Miami, Criminal Minds, NCIS, 911. I mean, you name it, he's done it. I'm just looking at his resume right now. And yeah, you're going to just love this dude. He's just awesome and so much fun to hang out with, and looking forward for our conversation tonight. And he's also a huge Hallmark star, and he's done over 16 original Hallmark Channel movies, and he just had a movie come out with Lacey Chabert called Haul Out the Holly. So we're going to be talking about all of these projects tonight, and let's get to it. All right, ladies and gents, please put your hands together for Mr. Wes Brown. What's up? Sorry, dude. Sorry. I thought you were.
Oh, it's the martinis, man.
A martini. What's up? Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me on, man. This is a lot of fun. Congrats on this show. This is just great. This is awesome. I love you, bro.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
So much fun.
I'm sure you've done quite a few interviews where you kind of like you start the interview and then before you know it, it's over and you really feel like you weren't really able to say as much as you wanted to. So tonight, my friend, you've got a full hour of a platform to tell me your woes, share your deepest, darkest secrets, and we'd love to get to know the real Wes.
I did all that last month with you, didn't I? I do it again?
Yes. I mean, that was at a bar. Now it's
That's true. This is true.
The PG-rated version tonight.
This is very true. The worst thing about leaving an interview is all the stuff that you should have said, or your answers may have changed a bit, or one of those deals. But we won't let that happen tonight. So
okay.
Thanks again, pal. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thanks again for being here. You currently live in Connecticut, right?
Yeah, we're about 36 miles northeast of the city in Connecticut, and it's our third time living here. I did a TV show, just a quick backstory if anyone's interested, no one asked. Did a TV show called Deception on NBC, and we were shooting in beautiful Brooklyn, and they had like a 98% occupancy. There was nothing available. And so my wife sends me this listing in Connecticut, and I'm like, that's another state. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. And so I didn't know the Metro North existed. I didn't know. I mean, I knew what Grand Central was, but I know where all these trains went. So went out there, lived there for a year. Show ended. Did the same thing in 2017. Another show came to an end, but we just enjoyed the Northeast so much in New York City that we wanted to come back for good. So here we are. Awesome.
And you've been married for how long?
2008. So do the math.
Wow.
What is
14?
that? 14?
Yeah.
So yeah, 14 years. 15 next year.
And you have kids?
Daughter Mary Beth, who just turned 13.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're raising a teenager. How's that?
This is an hour show. It's fantastic, man. She is I know people love to brag on their kids, but she really is the sweetest soul ever. So she's as easy as they come. She's just a great little human. She's got a great friend group here. We love her school system, and she's really living life right now. Like we live in a place where, she gets on her bike, she rides to the coffee shops. It's like it's 1990 again, so
Awesome.
it's really great. So yeah,
Yeah,
she's loving it.
That's awesome. Did you at any point live in Los Angeles?
Lived in Los Angeles for 16 years. Yeah, I was playing in a rock band for when I was growing up in Baton Rouge. And selfishly, long story short, I convinced our band to move to LA. But I was my part of my degree was in theater, so like secretly I wanted to pursue acting and music at the same time. So like most bands, not long after, maybe 2 years after being in LA, it just kind of all fell apart. And still doing the acting thing. So here we are, this many years later. But no, LA is all, it will forever be a home to me. I love it. Our daughter, I met Amanda in Los Angeles. Our daughter was born in Los Angeles. We have 90% of our pictures over the last 15 years are all LA based. So no, LA's great.
Okay. Well, let's just back up a little bit and let's get a little more of a backstory here. Growing up, because on the show here, I like to talk about like dreams and goals and how people go about achieving dreams and goals and the obstacles that you had to overcome in order to realize a lot of this stuff. Was acting one of your dreams from when you were little?
Not at all.
No?
Not at all.
Did you have an idea of what you wanted to do?
I'm going to be honest with you. At first, one of my dad's really good friends was an FBI agent. And that's what I thought I wanted to do because I was a pretty good kid growing up. I was fairly intelligent. I had a clean record, no tattoos back in the day from, when the FBI. So that's what I thought I might want to do. My dad was a dentist. He talked me out of that. I had an uncle who was a lawyer. Didn't really want to do that.
You want to be a dentist.
My dad was a dentist, yeah. So I thought for a second maybe I want to be a dentist.
And he talked you out of it.
He talked me out of it.
Why is that?
He kind of knew my personality probably before I did, and he was like, I just don't think this is something you are going to enjoy. He actually wanted me to be an eye doctor. That's what he really wanted me to be, because nice, clean work. He didn't define himself as being in the cleanest situation, doing dental work, 5 days a week or whatever it was. So, God, I went from FBI agent to possibly a dentist, but I think my passions came in art, in music, in creating stuff. Eventually, I got into cooking a lot. I love to cook. So I knew I wanted to do something creative. And then my senior year in high school, one of my good buddies, who was actually the lead singer in our band, he and I just started playing on weekends, just acoustic shows. He would sing. I was actually a terrible, terrible singer back in the day. I had to really work at it to even get decent. So I didn't sing at all. I played guitar. He sang. And eventually we had another member join. And then we had a drummer come. And I was like, hey, man, let's start a little band without thinking anything of it. The band got a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And all of a sudden we started playing pretty big shows around Baton Rouge area. And then that grew into the southeastern region. And then not a lot, but we started making a little bit of money. And I was like, oh, man, this is what I want to do. Not necessarily be in a band, but I want to do something where I create it, or I'm a part of a creative process or a creative team.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of it. And then when I was at LSU, Louisiana State, for those who don't know, I started taking a lot of elective courses, and theater was one of them. And like everyone else, I loved television and movies, but that wasn't really a driving force. I wasn't a theater kid, but I was just really loving it and loving the idea of it. So between my junior and senior year at LSU, I told my family, I said, I'm going to go out to LA, see if I even like it. I'm going to see if I can get an agent. And this is right when our governor put in a new tax system that was making Louisiana a popular place. So we were first time ever, we were starting to see, not first time ever, but first time in a kind of a bigger sense that TV and movies, especially movies, were kind of coming into the Louisiana area.
Mm-hmm.
So went there that summer. God, I have so many stories from that summer, but I signed with a manager that I am still with today. And when I say signed, I mean we shook hands. We haven't had an ounce of paperwork in between us since 2004.
Wow.
He's still my manager to this day, and that was it. But I was on a scholarship at school, so I told her I have 2 semesters left. Maybe send me an audition as I go back to Louisiana. Is that okay? So she goes, absolutely. I'll see you this time next year. So one of the first auditions she sent me was Glory Road, the big Disney basketball movie, to play Pat Riley, and went out for it, got it, and we started shooting, and that lasted, I don't remember how long it lasted, but it was a while. The band left without me for LA, and as soon as that movie was over, stop me if I'm going on a tangent, but as soon as that movie was over, I went to Los Angeles, and once again, one of the first ones she sent me on was a TV show for Lifetime with Rob Lowe called Beach Girls, and that moved me to Halifax, Nova Scotia. And so while I'm there, the guys in the band called and said, "Hey, what about us?" So, after having a lot of conversation with them, I just thought, man, I guess I do have to choose. It's not fair. So I ended up finding a great bass player, because I played bass when we played live. Ian Baca, and Ian, he replaced me in the band, and they went on to play for maybe 2 more years, and then that was it.
Okay.
And then we're still auditioning away.
Did you feel, when you were just starting to audition, did you feel prepared? Did you feel like you knew what you were doing when you first started acting and auditioning, or did you feel like does it come naturally to you, or?
Man, no, I don't think so. But ignorance is bliss, because I had no plan B. When I think I had like $800 or $900 total when I booked my first series after trying to get out from it. I just did not have no plan, no nothing. And I'm like, thank God I didn't, because I might have drove myself crazy. So, after my first few, I did get that one, but some of the other ones, I definitely got the green feedback, go take some more classes, because I had a degree in theater, but I did not have a degree in auditioning. And that was a completely other monster that it just took getting used to, getting feedback and hearing no's left and right, so no, it did not come, auditioning process absolutely did not come natural. So
for some of our viewers who are interested in getting into acting, how would you describe the audition process compared to what it's like to actually audition? Because I had the same problem, and I had to take a specific audition technique class in Los Angeles with Margie Haber to teach me how to actually do the audition process, because it is completely different.
I have to say my answer is about to be a little unfair because of something I just heard. Like earlier today, Robert De Niro said, he goes, if I could have told myself, this is De Niro talking, he goes, if I could have told myself something, it's do not expect to get this part. You're not going to get it. And he goes, the reason I would have told myself that was I would have probably made different choices, because I made the choice everyone else made. I was so confident that I would make myself nervous that this is it. He goes, but if I had the realization that I'm not getting it, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to relax. I'm probably going to have a more fun time. My real personality is probably going to come out. Mm-hmm. And that is, I think, really great advice. And he wasn't saying in a negative sense, not that he's not going to get anything, but he is going to relax and take some chances, maybe do some stuff to be memorable. Because that's one thing that my agents always told me is like, you have to do something that they're going to remember you by. Nothing drastic or anything, but just do something. Maybe say a line that you don't not everyone else is going to say the exact way, or don't wear something that everyone else is going to potentially wear. My favorite, and you probably have a lot of experience this, was going in the room, listening to the next guy in the wall, through the walls, do it. And you're like,
is that how he's doing it? Oh, shit. Maybe I should change my choice.
He's screaming and he sounds ridiculous. Now he's throwing my whole thing in the way, or it's like, I don't hear anything, or they'll come back very, very cocky and calm and be like, guys, that was it. You can all just go home.
Yeah, you can go home. Yeah.
So, but I tell you what, I mean, we're almost in 2023 now. There's definitely well, let me ask you, do you think the auditioning process will come back in the room? What do you think?
I don't think so. I think I've talked to a few casting directors, and they said that they can just see more actors a lot more efficiently. And then when they do find, obviously for the bigger roles, if it's a principal role in a series, then I would imagine they would want to do the in-person chemistry reads like they normally do. But I think the initial process of just kind of narrowing it down, it seems like this is where it's here to stay.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind the tapes, but with that being said, it is nice to get in and work with people and hear some direction. Or I'll be honest with you, there was a lot of friends that I have today that I met through the auditioning process. So there was that thing I will forever miss of getting in your car, driving down Sunset, looking for wherever you're supposed to be. Seeing everyone else walking down, studio hallways, going over their lines. I'm like, I never thought I would say I would miss that, but I think that is something I probably will miss. It feels old school now.
Yeah. Yeah. There was just something about being in it as an actor in Los Angeles, and that actor life of going to acting class and just eating, breathing, sleeping, acting, and watching old Humphrey Bogart movies and rehearsing with your scene partner, and then going to acting class. And I definitely miss those days. And technology is great, but obviously it just removes the human element from it.
Yep.
And Paul Newman, I think, used to live near where you live, and I read his biography, and just to hear what it was like going to the actor's studio in the 50s and having Marlon Brando and Marilyn Monroe in your class. And I mean, it's just crazy to think of that. And that is the thing that I think I miss about, living in Los Angeles. But yeah, I mean, I think that's why I just relish working on film, because when I'm back on set, I get that feeling of that camaraderie and the creative process of working together to create something that you don't know if it's going to work out or not. And that's the scary part, but the fun part. Would you say, there was a question here I saw, would you say if you had to go back and do it all over again, if your band had blown up, do you think you would have preferred to be a musician, or would you have rather been an actor?
That's such a great question. My most honest answer is going to be a little bit boring, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because I have a lot of friends that are professional musicians, and what you just said, where technology is great, it is, but it can also be the devil. And some of the bands that we played around and with, like 311, Incubus, all these bands. I watched 311 do an interview somewhat recently, and they said, if you had advice for a musician that wanted to start a rock band, what would you tell them? And his answer was, get a time machine and go back to 1995 when it was easier. Because through things like Spotify, I guess what I'm trying to say is, unless you're just touring all over the place, it's just really hard to make money nowadays being a professional musician, unless you're one of the big boys touring. especially, and then COVID ruined a lot of that for touring for a lot of friends of mine. So that's the boring answer. The real answer is, man, I feel blessed that I get to do this for a living.
Mm-hmm.
I feel blessed that I got to play in and then have the band experience for a living. So no, I can't say I would love one or the other, but yeah, I mean, if those guys called me tomorrow and said, let's get back together, I'd be the first one to sign back up. It's a great experience. It's so much fun.
But you're still doing some singing. You just put out an album or a single, was it?
Yeah, so kind of what I'm doing right now is after we wrapped Nashville Christmas Carol, I really wanted to put out a few Christmas songs. I had already been in 2 Christmas song-based movies, and I really wanted to put something out there. So I got together with some friends of mine in Nashville, and I just picked out. I wrote one original called "Snowed In with You," which to write an original Christmas song is kind of nuts, but it did okay. I was happy with the way it came out, and then 3 other ones, and then last year I did "Last Christmas." Just on piano, and then I just kind of to test the waters, because I wanted to get back into music a little bit. Yeah. But I don't have a band anymore. I don't have any music management or anything like that. So it's kind of just me doing it, and we do it for TV and film. So now I'm just kind of I think I didn't realize he was doing it, but I'm Charles Eston from the show Nashville. He's kind of doing the same thing too. I think at one point he was putting out like a song every Friday. And when I saw him doing this, I was like, this looks like fun. I'm taking this way too seriously. So and Sirius XM has been sweet enough to play my stuff during December. And so I think next year I'll probably focus on some non-Christmas stuff, then do some more, probably another 3 or 4, maybe 5 Christmas songs to make an album, which is not an actual album, but there's enough songs to be an album. So yeah, I'm still kind of feeling it out,
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
So a few people have asked me before this interview, because you have such an amazing voice, if you would be open to sharing with us, your beautiful silky voice. Miss Pernilla Astron is asking if Mr. Wes Brown can sing for us. And as you know, Miss Kimberly Sega from she asked if you could specifically sing Last Christmas for us. So come on, what do you say? Does everyone want to hear Wes sing something?
I on guitar? You mean?
Sure, whatever.
And you know what? I am not a human jukebox, so I need music. So I have to look things up. I hope that's okay. See what I mean?
Fine too. Yeah.
Do you play at all, Colin?
I used to play guitar, but I got so frustrated that I couldn't sing that I gave it up. Because it just goes hand in hand. You just want to just jam with it, and yeah. It's just
all right. Let's see. Cheers, Colin. Where's your coffee?
Well, I got some Pellegrino here. Cheers.
Perfect. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. Be so blue. Wait, what's B7? That's it. Having blue Christmas without you. Be so blue, just thinking about you. Decorations of red along a green Christmas tree. It won't be the same, dear, if you're not here with me. When those blue snowflakes are falling. This window's blue, memories are calling. You'll be doing alright with your Christmas away. But I have a blue Christmas.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, so people want to listen to your music. You're on Spotify?
That song's not, but that's one I might do later. Yeah, it's on Spotify, it's on SiriusXM, and iTunes and Apple Music.
And when you do a cover of a song like that, do you have to pay part of the royalties to the original writer or artist?
Yeah, and it's once again, it's one of those things where it's not much. I mean, I'm not on tour, so Spotify only pays what it pays, so it's not too much. So no one's going to buy a car off my royalties for Blue Christmas. I promise you, Elvis is okay.
Is it like sometimes I get these royalty checks that I'm sure you do that they're like 7 cents?
I got one the other day for nothing.
Nothing. Zero.
Nothing. It was. I've gotten the penny before.
I've gotten the penny too.
This was $0.00
For like
0.00. I was like, this has got to be a mistake because I've gotten the pennies before.
Yeah.
This was for nothing. I didn't think that existed.
I didn't know that existed either.
So
that's crazy. So, I mean, obviously you've been very successful with having worked as long as you have and created sustainability in your acting career. What would you say has been the biggest challenge you've overcome in your career?
Gosh. Well, I have so many thoughts going on right now here. You know what? The biggest challenge I think is when things, and this is so much of this industry, when things just don't work out for things that are just completely beyond your control. When I told you I had moved out to New York and Connecticut for my first show, I thought that was it. I really did. I was trying not to think that way, and it wasn't because of me. I just thought, wow, we have a great script, a great cast. I mean, it felt.
What show was this again?
This was a Deception with myself, Megan Good, Victor Garber, Laz Alonso, Tate Donovan. Mm-hmm. It was just, man, it just felt great. And we got canceled after a season. And I mean, I know that doesn't really answer your question, but like something specific like that can be the real frustrating part when you have something that you fought really hard for, like, because these roles are not easy to come by. There's so much competition. So when you get them, you want them to last. And the truth of the matter is that they don't last. So like the friends of mine that are on hit shows and stuff like that, I mean, it's just envy is not the right word, because I don't want to envy anybody, but it's like, man, I've tasted that before and I know how good it tastes, and I just really want it back. So that is one of the challenges, is not having to put all your eggs in one basket, mm-hmm. and also to continue to create, which is not an easy thing to do. Like 2 movies ago, one for the Hallmark Channel, it's like my wife wrote the story for it. It's called Pecan Summer. It's a story based off of her life, and so had she not done that, I'm not certain I would have had a job for that summer. So it's like, that's kind of one of those things, is like, you can't just sit back and wait on the phone to ring. You have to go out there and be present in this. I mean, you don't have to, but it would really be in your best interest to continue to create, gain relationships, and just keep plowing forward. That's actually what I like so much. It's probably what I like the most about this industry, is I'm in it for my 18th year, mm-hmm. and when I get a new job or a new gig, hand to God, I probably get more excited now than I did when I got my first role.
Yeah.
Because I know how difficult it is just to have this as a career, and it's not the norm. So I just get so excited. I think about, man, I don't even know what I'm going to be working on next year, but I hope it's something cool, and I can't wait to find out what it is. Or maybe tomorrow I'll have an idea for a song that I don't know what's there yet. So it keeps the blood flowing, you know. So it's really exciting.
And as far as like creating your own, like your wife is a writer, do you are you starting to create your own projects, producing? Like, are you actually actively creating stuff for you to then act in?
Yep. So 2 years ago, I started a small production company called Island House Entertainment, and right now I probably have I'd say 6 or 7 feature films and 3 series that I'm gonna begin to shop. Now I've either acquired them or written them myself. But so to go out and actively shop them, you know, I mean, I think of an actress that you and I know together, I believe, like Jill Wagner.
Yeah.
She just did that with Taylor Sheridan, sold her series Lioness to him. So it's like she's kind of paving her own way. So yeah, we're constantly doing that, and it's easier said than done, but to get out into the world and to push this and to try to create your own, that's you know, that's a big driving force in it as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely, I've realized that, you know, as Mark Duplass said, I watched him do a speech at South by Southwest, and he said the thing that made him make his career become successful was he finally realized that the cavalry wasn't coming. And that if he was going to survive and make it, he was going to have to start creating his own stuff. And
yeah, but you know what? Something else I've learned too is, and I hope lazy is not a word for this, but I've also learned to stay in my lane. Meaning, after I've created a project, instead of me trying to do everything by myself, like I am not a big showrunner. But if I have something, a movie or a TV show, I now can find that showrunner to put it in their hands. Say, instead of me having to do all to me, let's work together and form a team and watch. You know, you have more irons in the fire, more people involved that, you know, are they do this part of the industry far better than you. So it's like with our director Glenn Owen from Stalk Within, this thriller I just did. I had a script that I wrote called Now at the Hour, and I was kind of looking for the perfect person to get it to. And after I worked with him, I was like, can you read this? And if so, you're the guy. And he read it. He's like, I love it. His family actually worked in the industry that my film is about. So I said, that was just an absolute blessing. So I was like, and he knows the guys with all the money and the funding and everything, because I did that one time in my life, tried to go raise money for a movie, and it was a colossal disaster. They were asking me questions. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I knew how to write it. Hopefully I know how to act in it, but I was like, I don't know how you're going to get your money back. I just don't.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to find you the guy.
Yeah.
And get you your money back.
Yep. Find the finance guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of, like, obviously, you know, you've got your production company. Do you believe in the power of like manifestation, visualization? Do you sit and think about, okay, for 2023, with all these projects, do you visualize and do all that sort of abundance seeking?
I used to not, because I thought it was something that if you spoke about it, it would bring you bad luck or whatever. But to answer your question, no. And the reason I started to manifest things is I'm sitting in it. This house that I'm sitting in, we were coming from Los Angeles. I was doing a movie in Salt Lake City, and then we were going to move to my mother-in-law's house in Orlando, Florida, for the end of the summer while we looked for a house. we found there was very, very little inventory. And my wife put this address in our phone and said, my house. And I said, don't do that. You're going to jinx it. She's like, I'm not jinxing. This is called manifesting. We're sitting in it.
So without even seeing that house that you're living in, she just randomly picked an address out of.
No. We did buy this house without seeing it.
Okay.
But we saw it online. I had a friend of mine drove past it, and I said, we don't need to come up or down as far as like, we don't need to fly up to New York or whatever to say, just tell me yes or no. Because the inventory was so little. I just wanted to get here and put my daughter in a school. And if this place was a disaster, but like, if it just wasn't for us, then we'll work that out later on the road. But she's like, and she put it in as our house, the address. It said home. When you clicked it, I was like, you're going to ruin this. She goes, I'm not ruining anything. She goes, this is manifesting. I said, okay. And we got it. And so I was like, you know what? I like this. This is such a more positive way of looking at stuff rather than my very silly, you're going to jinx it. I'm like, fourth grade. I'm like, no, you manifest it. So, that's why I have some friends that, and I apologize if you feel this way. I don't think you do, though. I have a lot of friends that are very successful actors that they constantly tell me they're like, I always think that this next job might be my last job. And I was like, why do you think that? They're like, oh, because, and I was like, I just think that sounds negative. You should want to be, I was like, no, next year is going to be even better and bigger. And the next year is going to be even bigger than that. And, I will get back on that series one day. I don't know what's called yet, but I'm manifesting it. It's coming. So I just feel it's a more, no cockiness, but just a confidence and a positive outlook on what you do. I was like, man, because at this point, I've put far too much time, effort, and energy into this to be negative about anything,
Yeah.
So yes, I enjoy manifesting now.
And what does that look like for you?
What's that?
The actual manifesting. Do you meditate? Do you do visualizations? Do you?
Oh, that's a great question.
And blow it out into the universe. What do you do?
God, that's a really great question. I think I'm a very visual person. So I can visualize. I don't know, not necessarily anything materialistic per se, but it's like, as far as working, I just, if I work with, like I just did, if I work with a great director or a great actress or producers, I can manifest all the projects that I want to do with them in the future. And then we get together with it. It's like, hey, what do you, because I remember we were doing Haul Out the Holly, and one of our producers walked past and he goes, you ride horses, don't you? I said, yep. He goes, you've done a few Westerns? Yep. He goes, okay. And he just kept walking. So last night I said, by the way, I'm picturing you and me on a range somewhere shooting something. You didn't tell me what it was, but we're going to do it. I have no reason to think me and this man are going to do a Western together, but in the back of my head, I'm already packed, ready to go.
Yeah.
So I am a very visual person when it comes to that aspect of things.
And what keeps you going when you experience those disappointing moments, like when Deception was canceled? And have you ever been in a situation where you were like, you know what, screw this acting thing. This is too hard. I have to find something more regular? Or are you always just
because
water?
Every time I have gloomed and doomed something to death, I look back on it and it just wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I've had the moments when I first got started and had my first mortgage payments, and then maybe a few months of, nothing. And then I kind of get down on myself because I didn't get this, or I did get this, or this didn't work out. And then looking back on it, I was like, wow, I understand you can have concerns about something. I was like, wow, I should have had a more confident outlook on stuff like that because it ended up working out. And I spent a lot of time thinking it wouldn't work out. And it did work out. So the universe kind of told me, stay positive, and all the negative stuff that you foresee coming so many times it doesn't happen, doesn't come. And to specifically answer your question, I think the negatives it's just a part of it. I now am at a point in my life where I don't just lose jobs to other actors, I lose jobs to friends and have to pretend I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
And then I end up watching the thing and I'm like, oh, they hired the right guy. Every now and then I'm like, they didn't hire the right guy, they hired the wrong guy.
Yeah.
But it just comes with it, when we were playing with the band, sometimes we'd have a bad show, sometimes we have a string of great shows. I don't know, but I think what keeps me from that is continuing the positive outlook on the creativity side. It's like, you know what, I didn't get this movie, I'm gonna go write my next movie, and I'm gonna go try to make it that way. Or I'll never forget, man. Do you know an actor named Scott Porter by any chance?
Yeah, from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect example. So I was up for that role, and I didn't get it. And then True Blood came up, and it came down between me and Scott for that role, and I didn't get that. And then Heart of Dixie, the CW show with Rachel Bilson, that came up to me and Scott again. They just wanted me for another role. It was a lesser role. It wasn't a big series regular, but
yeah,
it just kind of was what it was. So I was like, well, do I get down in the dumps, or do I just feel I got a part, or this producer liked me for this? I didn't get it, but they remembered me and they hired me for this. So it's like, it's one of those things, like it's that seesaw back and forth that when I tell that to people who are in this industry, they just say that would drive me up the wall.
Yeah.
I just think by now I am so insanely used to it.
Yeah.
I kind of have pretty thick skin when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. I think with anything in life, as soon as I started to recognize that, like when I first started, and when you first start with anything, you're not fully confident in maybe your ability, or you're not sure you can do it. But obviously, if you love something enough, you know that you just got to give yourself a break in the beginning to know that you're going to mess up. You got to give yourself the permission to screw up and to fail. One of my acting teachers, Leslie Kahn, her famous saying was "Dare to suck." And so it's kind of like giving yourself that permission and not being attached to the outcome, knowing that, and this is a big one, that even when I screwed up in an audition, as difficult or as hard as it was to not get the role, I always knew and know that there's going to be another opportunity. And I think people get stuck sometimes when they feel like, oh, that didn't work out, I'm not going to do it anymore. Like a relationship will end, and they're like, well, you know what? I put my heart and soul into that relationship and it didn't work out, so I'm not going to do it again. And I always just keep reminding myself that there is so much more opportunity out there than I think we realize, or we sometimes forget about. And I just, once I started to recognize that, you know what, I can do this. I have proven that I can do it. I just knew that, it's just a matter of seeking out those opportunities. And a lot of the times you have to go out there into the world and find those opportunities. They're not going to land in your lap unless you get out there and explore and get dirty, get dusted up. And in that process, I also feel like you also build what I like to call spiritual calluses, where you feel a little like, all right, I've been kicked around, I'm still here, I've survived this far. And so it's just a matter of continuing going out there. And I'm a firm believer in that if you don't give up, eventually you're going to find something or someone that is going to help you along your path to keep you going.
To paraphrase a very quick story, I heard this and I just absolutely loved it. It was an English professor at Yale, and he had his first, I think it was, whatever it was, literature 101, and everyone in his class wanted to be an author. And the first week, all he did was destroy the idea and dream of being a writer and an author. He just crapped all over it and just said, you do realize that with the success rate of being an author is, and how difficult it is to make money being an author. And all he did this for the entire week. Next Monday, I think it was either 60 or 65% of the class withdrew. They dropped it.
Wow.
And he got to the front of the class and he said, to all of those still here, if I can talk you out of being a writer, you were never meant to be one. So thank everyone who left for not wasting my time or theirs. Welcome to Literature 101 or whatever it was. Because he just said, so you already know the path, but you're still here. You're still willing to take it. You know it's going to be hard, but you are the people who will be successful if you don't quit. And you know that, and you already know that going into it. That was one of the big issues with playing with a band, because I'll be very honest with you, when we were playing in South Louisiana and Baton Rouge, we were kind of a big fish in a small pond, and it was easy to book shows, and we played all over. We got to Los Angeles, and I'm like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows we're here. No one cares that we're here. We can leave or stay, and no one will notice. And that was tough to swallow coming back from it. But I was like, I didn't care. It didn't bother me a bit. I just think with other people, knowing that something is not going to be super easy and take some time and dedication, and even through that time and dedication, you still don't know if it's gonna work out. So, but it always felt right to know that. Like when I started this, I didn't know what SAG scale was, and I just knew that I loved the craft and the process, and that's why I feel I can look anyone in the eye and say I feel I did this for the right reasons, because that's what my story says.
Yeah, I love that. Sharon Colma is asking, what actor or actress did you learn the most from, and who would you like to work with?
That's a great question. I will say, I'm trying to make my stories and my questions and my answers a little bit different. So some of the people that I really looked up to are the people that kind of did a little bit of both, of music and TV or film. So a guy from my home state, Harry Connick Jr., I've always respected and looked up to his career, because he was doing both, and he was doing it at a different level. Frank Sinatra, obviously, I'm a huge fan of jazz and that culture, and he was one that was doing movies and music and stuff. And I really enjoyed those types of folks that were doing both, keeping them separate and also bringing them together. I found that super interesting and intriguing, because I was doing both at one point. And like you said, which would you choose? I'm like, my real answer is I don't want to choose. I don't want to choose. That's why it was such a blessing. If I could do both in a movie, well, that's just kind of like, now we're just having fun. Now we're just playing, because it just doesn't get a lot more fun than that. Did I answer a question? I forgot it. So
it's what actor or actress has had the biggest influence on you, or that you've learned the most from, and who would you like to work with?
One of the actors that really influenced me, just because of the amount of range, was Robin Williams. He's also the second person ever that I've never met that I just bawled when they left us. The other was Anthony Bourdain. It just hurt. Those two guys leaving, it hurt. It left a void that we won't get to see his talents and him do. I've never seen anyone do comedy and then just will make you just rip your heart out sometimes in the same movie. Patch Adams is one of the best movies I've ever seen, and I'm like, if you don't if you don't love Patch Adams and Robin Williams in it,
Yeah.
then you and I can't be friends. As far as someone I'd love to work with, man, that list is so long. I don't. The next person I'm working with, probably, honestly. I love to work with you, man.
Yeah, dude, me too.
Because I'll tell you what, I will be honest with you. So much of being in working with lead women in these Hallmark movies, I don't get to work with a lot of guys like I did in True Blood and stuff like that. So I would love to do like a just anything with like a guys road trip or something like that. You know, it would be fun to do that. I mean, I love the romantic comedies. The thought of like doing something with like kind of like Three Wives and the Baby, like with Andrew and stuff like that. Like that seems like such a fun, different twist.
Yeah, I've got a project, and actually, I've had you and Andrew Walker in mind where we play brothers. So I'll tell you about it, but
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna manifest it.
all right. Yeah, I do want to talk to you about it. You'd play the middle brother. I'm the older brother. Andrew would be the younger. I'm the older. Andrew's the younger. You're the middle.
I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
All right. We'll chat about it. All right. Well, this has been awesome. I feel like we could just rap for like hours, but we're at the top of the hour here, and I do want to get to what your favorite movies are, so we can share with our audience maybe some new ideas and give them something to watch this week or throughout the holiday season. So besides your Hallmark movies, we're going to be talking about what your favorite movies are. I mean, it could be a Hallmark movie, but the first question on the particular Pick Six question list is, and again, Particular is have you heard of Particular, by the way?
No.
Nope. So it's an app that allows you to, when people ask you like, hey, Wes, where can I watch your movie? People ask me like, oh, Colin, where can I watch this or that? And I mean, I don't know, because the distribution always changes. I don't know if it's on Netflix or Hulu or Apple TV. Right. So Particular is a social media sharing app where it curates movies that are trending. You can swipe left or right for movies that you like and save them into your lit list and then share that list with your friends. And it will tell you when you match up with other people on the platform who are your friends. And then you can actually click on movies and watch them simultaneously together. So it's a really fun, cool movie curating platform. So if you haven't gotten it yet, guys, download Particular so that when Wes tells you the movies that he likes, you can then go to Particular, type those movies in, and it'll show you exactly where to watch all of these movies. So the first question on the Particular Pick Six is, what is your favorite movie of all time, Mr. Brown?
The reason I had to think about this was because I saw someone else ask this question to another actor. And they said, keep in mind, you asked my favorite movie, not what the best movie is. You see, there's a difference.
Oh, yes.
I mean, because I just mentioned Patch Adams I can't say it's my favorite because that's a hard movie to watch. And there are some of the best movies that are hard movie to watch. But you asked my favorite.
Yep.
My favorite movie is Pirates of the Caribbean because I have an absolute blast watching that movie. If it's on, it's staying on, whether it's in the background. So is it the best? No, but it is my favorite. I love that movie. And I love Christmas Vacation too. That's going to be a very close next one. I have a lot of favorites, but I was thinking about, I was like, what is the one that I will stop and watch? Just because I have a blast watching it. And it's as simple as that. It doesn't get any more deep. I just have a lot of fun watching that movie.
Is it just the first one or all of them?
Just the first one.
Just the first one.
Because it got a little worse each one. If we're being very honest. It's just the first one.
Okay. Awesome. Second question is, what was your favorite movie growing up as a kid?
I wasn't going to say this, but there's a story that happened only a couple hours ago that I have to. I was reading the questions aloud, sorry, Amanda was reading the questions aloud. She goes, "What was your favorite movie growing up?" And I said, "That's easy. It was The Sandlot."
Oh yeah.
And she goes, "That's a lie." I go, "It's not a lie. It was The Sandlot." She goes, "Think long and hard about what your favorite movie growing up was." And I go, "Oh my God, you're right. It wasn't The Sandlot." And I'm going to tell you what it was. My favorite movie growing up was The Adventures of Pippi Longstocking.
Amazing.
I loved it. I don't know what you want me to say. I loved it. All the magical stuff, her on skating around on the soap stuff, flying horses and everything. If I'm being honest, on Coffee with Colin.
Hey, this is all about being authentic.
Because this isn't airing anywhere, right? No one's going to see this. Just me and you chatting.
Yeah, no, this is just you and me, buddy.
Pippi Longstocking is coming into your freckle face redhead. Freaking love that movie. And you know what? I don't really care. I don't care what anyone says. That was a great movie. Have you seen it?
No. Who's the actress? Is she like
the actress?
Her
now? Name is Terry. I don't think she's an actress anymore. And it wasn't a horribly popular. I don't think it was a horribly popular movie. I just loved it as a child. I love that movie. You should go watch the trailer of it. It's ridiculous. I think it's a late '80s movie. But yeah, it's about a girl. She moves into this house and she lives by herself. And there's a magical element to it. Like her best friend's this talking spotted horse. She can fly. She makes a helicopter out of brooms and stuff. I mean, it's for kids, but it is it's just an absolute blast movie for kids, and I loved it. And I guess The Sandlot was a close second.
I mean, you can't go wrong with The Sandlot.
No, Sandlot was
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Sandlot's probably number one, but I like the story. I like the fact that people give me grief about my love for the adventures of Pippi Longstocking.
I mean, that's an answer that I'm never going to forget because I've never heard it. I mean, I've heard of Pippi Longstocking, but I mean, you're the first person to say that it was one of your favorite movies growing up. So I'm definitely going to have to check this out.
Because not everyone is honest on Coffee with Colin, and I'm the first honest guest you've had.
We've had some pretty honest people, but I have to say, because I'm looking this up now on Picticular, and which one is it? Is it the one with the red?
No. So, what is that? I think the correct title of the movie is The Adventures With. It might have been a spinoff.
So these are the different Pippi Longstockings.
You know what? If it was made into something other than the original movie, then I am that would be a new one for me. I think the movie cover is her with a pirate hat on. Yeah, here it is.
So is it from 1969?
It's that.
Ah, okay.
See, we have a pirate theme going on too. I guess I just realized that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to do a little more research on this.
Watch it, but you know, you may have.
Yeah. All right. Well, I love it. All right. So everyone, make sure you check out Pippi Longstocking.
Or
third
not.
question is, what is your favorite comedy?
My favorite comedy, I thought it was. I was actually going to answer the romantic comedy one because it is a romantic comedy. I think Sweet Home Alabama is a perfect romantic comedy. It's one of the few movies I've ever watched that I wouldn't change a word. I thought everyone did their job at the highest level. It was just silly enough. It was just romantic enough. I love the complexity of characters in it. And I got to work with Josh Lucas too. I never thought I would like Sweet Home Alabama as much as I did, but I thought that was a near perfect comedy. Another comedy that I like, 'cause I'm trying to give you answers that I feel are not mainstream. But there's another comedy, because I know we're running late. There's another comedy that has nothing to do with your question about like a movie you're embarrassed to say you like. Fool's Gold with Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey. Before
Yeah.
you've seen it, with him and Kate Hudson.
With Josh Lucas and Kate Hudson?
No, Josh Lucas was in Sweet Home Alabama. Fool's Gold was with Matthew McConaughey and.
Oh, Matthew. Okay.
I thought that was a great comedy, just because of the same reason I like Pirates. It may not be a perfect movie, but it's just really fun. It's got a beautiful setting to it. You can tell everyone's having a blast. Again, the stories are just silly enough. It's romantic enough. It's just, I think these are perfectly well balanced movies. And then I always like movies where your location is one of the characters. You know, it's like New York City, they do it so much, but like Sweet Home Alabama, I love how they brought Alabama into it with all of its, you know, Alabama charm or whatever. At Fool's Gold, they, you know, highlighted the Bahamas and the Florida Keys. I love when your location also plays a part of the movie. So it makes it more enjoyable to watch.
So Anna Valdez is saying Fools Rush In. Is that the name of it? Or is it Fool's Gold?
Fool's Gold is kind of Fools Rush In. That's another one. Wasn't that with Matthew Perry? I think Fools Rush In.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to mix this up a little bit because it is the holidays, and I think you may have already mentioned the movie that is going to be your answer. What is your favorite Christmas movie of all time? Or holiday movie?
I mean, Christmas Vacation's an obvious one.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one that I think is one of my probably top favorites is the original Miracle on 34th Street, but also Christmas in Connecticut. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
Christmas in Connecticut is just an absolute gem of a movie. Forgive me, I forget the year. But that's one of my favorite. I have so many. It's a Wonderful Life. I do have a confession though.
What's up?
I have never seen A Christmas Story.
Wait, You'll Shoot Your Eye Out with Ralphie?
And
are you serious?
I have not. I've seen every Christmas movie I think there is. I have just never sat down and watched A Christmas Story. For no reason. For no reason. I don't not want to see it. I just have never sat down, hit play, and watched A Christmas Story. Even though I think TBS runs it 24/7 on Christmas Day.
Yeah, man, you have to watch that movie.
I know.
Yeah. So I just I found Christmas in Connecticut.
That's it.
That's it, right?
That's it. No, not the one on the right. That's with Christopherson. The one on the left.
Yes.
It's your left. Yes.
Okay. So it shows
such a classic movie.
And then what's cool is it shows you right down here where you can watch it.
How about that?
Yes. And when you tap on it, let's say Apple TV, and it just takes you right to the platform that you can watch it.
And this is
this is Picticular.
Picticular.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down right now.
Yes. And so it shows the trailer, it shows all the actors, and then you can.
Where can I watch The Adventures with Pippi Longstocking?
Yeah, for some reason I couldn't find it on here, but I'll look.
It's in the vault. It's vintage.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Next question is, who's your favorite actor or male character in a movie?
I'm gonna have to go back to my man Robin Williams.
Yep. All right.
gem of talent, the range. I mean, I don't know if there's a better character. I mean, I don't know if it's a character in a movie. I mean, his character about his role in oh
Good
gosh,
Hunting.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon
Good
film,
Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. I mean,
Yeah. One of my favorite movies.
that was an acting masterclass
Yes.
of acting because I never felt he was acting.
Yeah.
I felt this was a guy who was. I don't know, man. I get just emotional thinking about all the scenes in that movie. It's like that was just, from the human element to watch that rip your heart out, and then from the acting side of it, you can only hope to one day work with someone like that or get material like that that just has a depth of range, and to know that that guy can do that and then go on to Mrs. Doubtfire and just make you laugh your head off and cry too in that same movie. The man could do it all. So
I don't know if you knew in the scene where he's talking to Matt Damon, and he's talking about his wife who's died of cancer, and he improv the part where he talks about how it's those little things in a relationship that make you fall in love with someone, and he this was like non-scripted, and he did this to try to get a real reaction out of Matt Damon, and he talked about how his wife used to fart in the bed.
I remember that. It's funny. It's funny you say that because every scene in that movie where Matt Damon's laughing, it looks like he's really, truly.
Yes.
Laughing.
Yes.
So that doesn't surprise me one bit. Or even, I mean, my favorite scene was when he just Matt Damon's going on and on trying to put up this this tough exterior, and he just keeps, it's not your fault. Not your fault. Yeah. And he breaks him right there. It's just kind of like, woof.
Yeah.
Just an absolute gem of a talent, But other than that, I mean, no shortage. I like so many people for so many different reasons. But yeah, he's definitely one that's at the top of the list.
All right. And how about actress or female character?
I'm going to say something that might be controversial, but I'll defend it. I think one of the greatest female performances of all time was Toni Collette in Hereditary. If you haven't seen that movie or her performance in specifically Hereditary, unbelievable.
Really?
Absolutely incredible. I love Toni Collette so much. But specifically Hereditary, which was shot in Salt Lake City in 2018. That one takes the cake for me. And again, I'm trying to throw stuff out that's maybe not not the normal answer. Trying to do some deep diving. So if anyone hasn't seen Hereditary or her performance there, she is just unbelievable. So good.
Yeah. She played in, I think it was Showtime, where she played the woman with split personalities.
Yeah. Was that
where she played these six different characters? Or
Jackie? Or am I getting it wrong?
No, I think that was
totally wrong.
The actress from Sopranos.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. That's right. Yeah.
Didn't Toni Collette play in The Sixth Sense? Wasn't she the mom?
God, I haven't seen that movie in so long. Wow.
Someone will look it up.
Yeah. Someone look it up.
Yeah. And last question: what was your favorite movie that you've worked on?
My favorite movie I've ever worked on?
Yeah.
Or TV show or anything? They've been so different. I'll have to say, I'll give two quick answers. Just because, first of all, this last Hall at the Holly, I just never felt we've had a cast this deep, and I probably had more fun just playing a character with this group of people than I have in a really long time. And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to kiss anyone's butt, but I truly appreciate and do love every. I mean, have I ever had a bad acting experience? I have, but I've been so lucky. They're so far and few between.
Mhm.
There is a piece of almost every project that's got to be part of my favorites. But
Yeah.
getting back to Hallmark for the very first time in 2009 and 2010, we did a movie called Shadow on the Mesa, which was a straight up Western, no romance. We had a body count. I was riding horses, shooting bad guys. I mean, I got to do this thing where you throw the dynamite in the jail and then you do the slow walk with your big duster blowing, your cowboy hat on, the jail blows up behind you, and you're like, this is so cool. Was it my favorite movie? No, probably not, but it was, God, I just had so much fun.
What was that called again?
That movie was called Shadow on the Mesa with myself. Kevin Sorbo played my father. And then we did two other ones right around that. It was a Love Comes Softly movie series with
yeah, someone just wrote that. Brenda Lewis wrote in the chat, loved your character and Love Comes Softly.
Yeah, I mean, so much fun to be. We shot that out on Big Sky Ranch, north of Los Angeles, and I mean, I there's part of me wondered, like, can we get that going again? Because people do. Those movies were a while ago, and people still talk about them, and it's so sweet that they remember them. But I think it's just because everyone was just so invested that I have so many actor friends of mine that would love to do westerns, or period pieces are some of my favorite, no matter what it is. But to get into costume, to go back in time, that really sets the standard high.
Yeah,
So that was one of my favorites to do, was those Loves movies, and then Shadow on the Mesa, and then that was it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, dude, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for being here.
I'm with you, man. I could talk to you for another hour or two, but appreciate you having me on. Congrats on the show and everything you got going on too, man. This is awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And yeah, let's definitely chat about working together. Like I said,
you got my contact info. Call me anytime. I want to hear about it. I'm manifesting it.
Definitely. Last question before you go. I like to ask my guests, what inspires you, Wes?
Right now, my family inspires me. I love that I get to do what I love for a living, but also get to provide for my family. And when I see my daughter watch some of the stuff that I'm in, or heard something I've done, and I feel that she likes it and she's proud of her dad, I mean, that's always that extra inspiration is really touching, and there's nothing else like it. There's nothing anyone else could say to me that's in like one of them care about something, or I get because like my wife knows me better than anyone else, and when she sees something or hears something, and then I get a compliment or something from her that I can feel is really deep, because like she knows me, so if she sees something, she's like, wow, I've seen you progress from, whether it be as a man, as an actor, as anything else, that's really inspiration. So to get compliments from the people that know me the best, that feel real,
Yeah,
nothing like that in the world.
Yeah, I love it. Well, if I could share a compliment to you, I think not only are you a great actor, but I like to consider you, a new friend, and I'm looking forward to creating some great stuff together with you. And again, I appreciate your time and sharing some of your insight, and just wish you all the best, man. You deserve it.
Everything right back at you, pal. I do appreciate it, and I look forward to more chats and a little bit more of everything. I'm manifesting it big time.
Sounds good. All right, man. Well, take care, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks so much, buddy. Thanks you all for watching and listening.
All right, guys. Again, great interview, and thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of it. You guys make this show what it is. If Wes and I were just chatting at a bar like we did. I know we did have a good conversation, but just having you guys on here and adding your contribution and throwing your questions in here definitely made it a lot more fun and more fun to be here. And just want to say thanks again for your continued support every week, and just loved what Wes had to say today, especially about just what he said about when the professor said, any one of you out there who is or describing how difficult it was, and saying that it's going to be very, very difficult to do this, almost impossible to do this. And if you guys are not ready to do that, then this isn't the class for you. And the fact that 65% of the class didn't show up just goes to show you that a lot of the times we don't always do things for the right reasons. And when I say right, I mean the reasons that really inspire us to continue to do what we're passionate about. And I think a lot of the times, including myself, especially growing up, I let other people influence my decision making, and I just wanted to please people. I wanted to please my parents. I wanted to please my teachers. And the great thing about acting was that when I first got into my acting class, my acting teacher was the first one to completely make me aware that that was completely counterintuitive to being a great actor. And it also is counterintuitive into having people treat you with respect, and I think we can always tell when people are doing things for the reasons when we know that they're not authentic to themselves. And I think the best thing that we can do for each other is to help remind ourselves to just be authentic and true to ourselves, and to support each other in what it is that we are up to. And instead of giving people advice and persuading them not to do something, I think it's important to just ask questions about why they do want to do it, what's important to them, because sometimes all we need is someone to listen to what we are up to instead of giving us advice. I know we are a lot of the times quick to give advice because we think we have the answer, and it makes us feel good to be able to say what we want to say. But I think one of the best gifts you can give to someone, and as we're coming up to the holiday season here, sometimes I think the best gift you can give someone is just the ability for them to share what they're up to, what they're doing, what their dreams are, what their hopes are. And that's why I'm grateful to Wes for sharing his insight and everything that he's up to and what he cares about. And just want to say, again, thank you all for being here tonight. And would like to see you guys again. Just so you know, I've got some things coming up here where I've got the holiday hang with Colin coming up on December 16th. It's a Friday night, and it's an opportunity for us all to get together. And we're going to be doing some mind mapping, so creating some goals and a little vision boarding for 2023 and what you want to create and manifest for the new year. We're going to be playing some games, playing some music, and we're going to be doing a baking contest. That's right, a baking contest. So it's an opportunity for you to bake something during this 3 hours of essentially a big virtual party with people from all over the world, where you get to bake your favorite thing. I'm going to be baking something. I'm not going to tell you what it is. And then at the end, we're going to be judging who made the top 3 best desserts. And then I'm going to be giving out prizes, shout out t-shirts, some Young Living oils, and autographed copy of my book, and perhaps a few other things. So it's going to be a fun evening, and perhaps we may even do some karaoke. So again, December 16th, if you want to sign up and get your ticket and save your spot, you can go to the Instagram, my bio in my Instagram, and click on the link, and there's a drop down to get your ticket for the holiday hang with Colin. So we've already been selling tickets, and can't wait for you guys to join me on that Friday. Also, I've got Patreon, where I do cooking with Colin once a month. I do a meditation session, and I do an hour of Empower. So this is an opportunity for you to stay engaged with an amazing community of people, and for you to stay connected to what it is that is important to you, and to fulfill on your dreams and your goals, and to, again, meet some more people to support you along your journey in life. All right. I think that's it for now. If you haven't gotten Christmas presents or holiday presents yet, again, my book, Agile Artist, makes a great gift, and also my shout out t-shirts. So if you are still looking for a gift for those hard to find people, or how hard to purchase for people, I'm just giving you some free suggestions, no obligation. But again, would be great to see you in one of the community groups, whether it's Patreon or the Holiday Hang. And until next week, ladies and gents, have a great week. And I wish you all my best. Sending you lots of love. Take care for now.